Hey everybody, so today I want to follow up on a topic I touched on a couple weeks ago, which was about joining the Coast Guard at the age of 40. The reason why I want to revisit this is because I went back and looked at the question that I was actually responding to, and the question that I answered, that I said, was, is it worth joining the Coast Guard at age 40? But when I went back and looked at the question, the actual question was, is 40 too old to join the Coast Guard Reserve? Very similar question, but not exactly the same, because I was talking about, is it worth it? Personally, the question was, is it too old? And that could be interpreted a couple different ways. So I'm going to try to tackle it in a couple different ways. If you're talking about, is 40 too old from a physical perspective, I would say no, with a caveat that assumes that you're in good shape already, because you would have to be in good shape regardless of the age. 40 is certainly not 70. I'm pushing 40 myself, and I'm not quite where I was at 18, but I'm still pretty fit. And also, you keep in mind the fact that the physical fitness standards decline with age. So 30 to 39 is less stringent, and then 40 to 49 as well. So from the physical aspect, I would say it's just the same in terms of preparedness. It's maybe a little easier for an 18 or 19-year-old to do some of that, but with working out, fitness, good nutrition, stretching, and a good healthy lifestyle before you go out, I don't think that's going to be a problem. Now, the more complicated answer, is it too old from a stage in life perspective? So the easy answer for me is that I can't answer that because I don't know your personal situation. But where it gets complicated, and I did touch on this a little bit in the original video, is if you have kids, if you have a wife, if you have a job, if you are really comfortable in life where you're at and you don't want to move. These are all factors that you would have to take into account. I think that the benefits to being 40 are that you're going to have more maturity, you're going to have more life experience, you are going to you will probably have been through more in your life that will allow you to compartmentalize the crappiness of what you're experiencing when you go through boot camp, whereas an 18 or 19-year-old might be more inclined to be affected by that emotionally, because that would be such a shock to the system. The flip side to that, why it might be more difficult at 40, is really for those same reasons. Because you're going to be more mature, you're going to have life experience, you're maybe going to be 15 or 20 years older than your company commander, there might be a sense of like, what the hell am I doing here? This is ridiculous. We might feel like you're overqualified or you shouldn't be getting treated this way. Having said that, there's also Depot and Reeby, and I'm working on getting somebody that's going to help me to talk a little bit about that. I know people have been asking about Depot, which is the truncated version of boot camp for people who have been prior service or who have a certain amount of college units. Certain professions in life will allow you to do that in lieu of the full 8-week boot camp. Anyway, in a vacuum, no. Or I guess the answer to the question is in a vacuum that yes, it's worth it to join at 40, with the stipulation that that's just going to be dependent on where you're at in life. Now, what's nice about joining at 40, especially on the reserve side, is that if you do 20 years, when you retire, you start collecting your retirement right away. Because in the reserves, you don't start collecting retirement until you're 60. unless you did periods of active duty, in which case that active duty time will deduct from 60 and then you'll collect at that point. If you join the reserves at age 40 and you do 20 years, now you're at 60 when you retire. So something to think about. Other than that, I can't answer the question because, as I always say, it's going to be dependent on your personal situation. But certainly don't let the age be a factor. Don't let the age be a sole reason why you decide not to join. I've seen a lot of people over the years who joined in their late 30s and thrived and just had absolutely amazing careers and were doing great things in their life outside of the Coast Guard as well. So the fact that you're asking the question and thinking about it tells me that you are taking it seriously and you're asking the right questions and you're thinking the right way. So I'm confident that you're going to make the right decision for you and your family, whatever that may be. Anyway, hope that's helpful, and hope that answers the question better than I did the first time, and I'll catch you all again soon.